the martial art of Kendo. Japan's ancient sword skills adapted for the modern world. Kendo practitioners, or Kendoka, go through rigorous daily training. Their goal is to respond instinctively with the perfect strike, or ippon. Beyond the distraction of thoughts and emotions lies a realm of mental detachment. Striving towards this state, some advanced Kendoka take on a particularly arduous challenge, pushing their body to the very limits through as many as 100 successive bouts. On today's show, we follow one such dedicated Kendoka as he undergoes this exacting battle of endurance in his quest for perfection.
Today, I've come to this dojo, a place steeped in tradition and reverence, where the art of Kendo has been passed down for some 85 years. Kendo bouts are won and lost on ippon, a single clean strike to one's opponent. The definition of ippon can vary across different martial arts, but in Kendo, it's only awarded when very specific conditions are met.
The roots of Kendo trace back to Japan's samurai, the feudal warrior class from the 12th to the 19th century. Samurai carried swords at all times and had to learn kenjutsu, or traditional swordsmanship, to defeat their enemies in battle. As long centuries of war gave way to peace, these techniques for killing gradually adapted to emphasize defense and spiritual development. The new art of Kendo was eventually born. In competitive Kendo bouts, winners and losers are decided in an instant. At elite level, combat is too fast for the untrained eye to even follow. Let's see how long it takes for the winning blow to be struck. Here, it's a mere 0.2 of a second. A decisive thrust or strike to one's opponent like this is called ippon. To be awarded an ippon, the attacker must land a clean strike to one of 4 designated target areas. These are the men, or head, the do, or torso, the kote, or wrist, and finally tsuki, a thrust to the throat. Not simply any strike can be deemed an ippon, however. 4 essential conditions must be met. Firstly, the correct part of the shinai, or bamboo sword, must be used. That's this area, just below the tip. Alex Bennett, a well-known Kendoka originally from New Zealand, explains the reason for this rule.
And this is sort of like the sweet spot of the katana. Okay, so if we cut like that, that's what we're aiming for. It's the strongest and the fastest and the most effective part. This isn't, okay, and this one's missing. And when we use the shinai, it's the same. The position...
Oh, so the shinai has a sweet spot also?
It does. The position is slightly different, of course, but the theory is exactly the same. We're not striking here.
Okay.
We're not striking here. We're looking for the sweet spot area.
The second condition for ippon is that the string that runs along the length of the shinai must be facing upwards. This is because traditional Japanese swords only have one cutting edge. The third rule is that the Kendoka must strike with correct posture while calling out the target of their attack. This prerequisite helps the kendoka deliver a powerful, focused blow.
If I stop like this, my opponent can attack me, okay? So this is...
Still going on.
Yeah, it's still going on. I've always got to be ready. That's called zanshin.
The final requirement, zanshin, is perhaps both the most fundamental and the most elusive.
If this was like real combat, which is where Kendo came from, right? It came from samurai culture of combat and sword fighting. So after you've made a strike or you've struck your opponent, if you suddenly take your eyes off your opponent and you go, yeah, all right, I've won, cool, now it's time to go home, then quite possibly that person's going to get up and hit you as well. So it's a kind of showing zanshin is not only continued alertness from a survival perspective, but it's also showing respect to each other, to your opponent.
In this video, you can see the importance placed on respect. The competitor on the left appears to have scored with a strike to the kote, or wrist. But proceedings are suddenly interrupted. After some deliberation, the ippon is disqualified. Here's what prompted the ruling: the briefest gesture of triumph by the attacking competitor. Deemed to lack sufficient respect and awareness, his ippon is rescinded on the grounds of inadequate zanshin. The 4 preconditions of ippon ensure that mind, body, and spirit all move as one. Working towards such a lofty goal demands strict daily training. Kendoka tirelessly go through the moves, conditioning their bodies and fostering an unwavering spirit. The most punishing form of training in Kendo is the tachikiri jiai, an unbroken succession of up to 100 bouts. It requires a combatant to keep on fighting for some 4 hours without a break. Only certain high-ranking kendoka with the requisite physical and mental strength are allowed to take part. For 7th Dan Kendoka Masuzawa Hitoshi, a tachikiri jiai he took part in 35 years ago proved pivotal in deepening his understanding of ippon.
Do-or-die situations produce the highest technique. You arrive at a point where you're no longer even thinking about winning or losing. At first, you're still making conscious decisions about where to target, but eventually you're forced to shift to simply doing whatever it takes to keep going. And then the only techniques you can perform are the ones you can do instinctively.
Throughout their long careers, kendoka never stop working to deepen their self-discipline and inner strength.